Hey guys, welcome to the Drift Podcast. I'm Travis,
And I'm Ben.
and today we have a guest, and it is Matt from the UK. He has Doki Doki Dory Star on Instagram. Is it a YouTube channel as well, or just
Well, we've started to make some videos, throw some things together, but
Yeah, sweet.
We'll post
Yeah, awesome.
Awesome.
Well, we'll just get straight into it with you, and we'll do news afterwards. Tell us a bit about yourself, dude. Like, where are you? What do you drive? And
How
all
you
that
got into
kind of
drifting.
stuff. Yeah, how you got into drifting.
Previous cars, give us the rundown.
Yeah. Grew up in England my whole life, just outside London. Everyone's always into cars. UK is a massive motorsport heritage, I guess, in
Yeah,
England.
for sure.
Me to things like a lot of motorsport going on. So always been into cars, but honestly, I don't even know how I got into drifting. I mean, you always see people getting the tail out. I don't know, some YouTube maybe, early YouTube
Rally or
videos.
something, because rally's pretty big in
Yeah,
Europe.
Colin McRae is obviously like a national hero.
Yeah, right. Yep.
Everyone knows about getting it sideways in the gravel. Scandinavian flick is what you'd call it. You just when it's a bit snowy, you just throw it in a bit harder than usual.
Yeah,
Just
sweet.
having. So yeah, I honestly don't know, but I know. So there was a guy next to me at work who imported cars from America and then Japan. He had a Stagia outside. Only ever seen it on Gran Turismo. I had to have it, so I ended up. That was my first car I actually owned. Nissan Stagia.
The all-wheel drive turbo.
Drive, RB25 GT.
Yep.
Obviously not full Skyline engine, but with a 4-speed auto.
Yep.
With overdrive, and then it had the electronic lockable diff. So
Yeah, okay.
took the front shaft out from the center, just pressed the button and push.
Yeah,
I
nice.
like it.
Did you ever drift it?
Yeah, I did. So I actually took it somewhere to drift. I don't know if you have like the banger style tracks where they're like Armco barriers around the outside, and you just pay $40 or whatever. And
Oh, skid pan.
Yeah,
Was
Yeah,
it like
yeah.
a wet skid pan or something, or dry?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay, wet
that.
skid pan. Yeah.
I was so amateur that I thought that would be a good idea in a super rare Stagia.
Yeah, nice. They're not that rare here. They're like $2,000.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, right.
It was fun. Yeah, it was a good car. I really, really liked the car, but yeah, so I ended up swapping it for BMW. They're a bit more common in this country. Like you obviously saying before, you just don't get BMWs drifting in that country, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like at all. I've never seen a Australian delivered BMW drifting ever, I don't think.
I've seen a couple, but
There's a
they'll 2J
few.
swap them or something.
Yeah, it's
generally.
either LS
Yeah.
swap or like J
Yeah,
or an
sure,
RB
sure,
in them. There's none of the what do you have, like the M52s over there that everyone puts in them or something?
So
Or
you
the
get 316, a 318, 320, 323, 325, 328.
yeah.
So many.
We
many.
only got like
We got
mainly
basic.
4-cylinders, like the 1.8 liter ones, and we got like as the top spec the lower range straight 6, but even that one's just hopeless.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
so
just got base models, and
Yeah.
the M models that we got were just too expensive. You would never
Yeah.
even consider drifting one.
Like M3s
I mean-
are still worth like 40 grand here.
Yeah.
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 And BMWs were expensive to begin with, so even nowadays you'll still pay like $6,000 for a BMW, a basic
Sure.
one. So
Yeah.
they're definitely not our beater car of choice.
And, well, that was like even now you can still get a 6-cylinder for £600, like $1,000, easy.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's,
right.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
They were so common at one stage, and I guess it's sort of like a businessman's car, so they just upgrade and upgrade and upgrade. So there was just so many floating around. Like so, when I started, you could pick up almost any E36 for under £1,000, bar the M3, obviously.
Yeah, right.
But,
Wow.
but nowadays it is getting a bit more, but I think that's because most of them have been smashed to bits.
Well,
Yeah.
an E30 M3 these days is just gone for a hell of a
Yeah.
lot of money in good nick,
Yeah.
like for a $2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. Cool. What else have you had after the BMW?
Yeah, the BMW. So yeah, okay. So I had the Stagia, and then I swapped it for the 36. Straight swap, 318 IS. They call it the poor man's M3. Really sick car, and I took it drifting the next day, and then smashed the front end in.
Oh, dude.
So I-
Sick.
and then from then on, it was just drift missile time. So I just went full out on that until it died, really.
Yeah. Right.
Nice.
And
But then,
nowadays,
so yeah, I killed that. I killed that pretty much. Killed the diff. Put that to bed. Ended up selling it and took a bit of a break. Yeah, just really wanted to get back into it after a few months. So picked up a really cheap MX-5. It turned out to be like an import model, so it had really good diff on the back, torsion diff. The Japanese 1.8 is actually a much better motor, that sort of higher rev in, light flywheel, just generally a great little fun car to drive. So
and the MX5s
yeah,
are
so-
pretty common over there, are they?
yeah, loads of MX-5s. They had a UK delivered model, but then there's tons of imported ones from Europe and from Japan as well.
Okay.
What's
I
the
don't quite
general
know.
price for MX5s? Just quickly.
Again, cheap, like 600 quid for a.
Oh
for a-
man, we pay way
Yeah,
more for
yeah.
that. Yeah.
We're looking at like
It's cheap.
minimum
Like,
5 for like an average one.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Big difference. What?
yeah, MX-5s are cheap. The used car market in the UK is pretty good, to be honest.
What are like A86s going for?
Sorry?
What are A86s going for? Because you can kind of judge a market on that. Is it as good as America?
Yeah, to be honest, so about $8,000 UK. So probably is that?
Well, that's pretty standard, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds a bit
Yeah.
like us.
Yeah.
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 I think bringing them in, you can bring in one for about 8 or 9, like a decent
Yeah.
drift 8.6. Oh, and then obviously you got Ireland. They've always had 8.6s delivered in Ireland. So
Yeah.
I think to be honest, they're probably more expensive in Ireland because they like them more. You know, they've got
Yeah. Well, the Irish always they want that UK spec. Yeah. They
Yeah.
have those stupid lights on the front.
UK 11.
Yeah.
I did see, like, say, back in the day, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, before drifting got popular. Yeah, UK delivered Levins for a few grand, like an old lady owner.
Mm,
Like, well, that's all changed now. All
Yeah.
changed.
yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I think the whole thing with the Irish and the UK spec with all the big rally lights on it is purely because Ireland had this big thing with A86s as a rally car well
Yeah.
before
Yeah,
they
that-
became famous as a drift car.
exactly that.
Yeah.
I was good. Like, there's big heritage in the UK, and obviously by association, Australia, USA.
Yeah.
You know, like since I don't know, for 150 years probably they've been getting these stupid, overpowered cars with the back out. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think 150 years. I
Oh,
don't know if
yeah.
they were drifting horses or something, but but yeah.
Like these old V12 Fiats, and they're drifting them around their front driveway or whatever. in
Yeah.
1910 or something stupid.
In a Model T.
New thing.
But yeah, so anyways, continuing back on with the MX-5. So what have you done
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the MX-5?
So the MX, I mean, I as I say, I loved it from day one, just as it came delivered. Like, I've done suspension, steering mods, chasing grip and stuff like that. But I never wanted to go the turbo route, like all engine swap. I mean, it's just like the 86, isn't it? It's hard to drive well, but it's so rewarding when you do.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say cheap, but yeah, take a shortcut to get there. So I've always kept it NA, pretty much stock power. I've got manifolds and exhaust and whatnot, but
Yeah, the
But yeah.
basics.
really, like yeah, watching all the old Suchiya videos and just the way you talk about the 86 being the teacher.
Fanboying.
Well, keep it real. Keep it real.
Yeah, man, yeah. Real men don't need turbos, all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
ya.
so,
Even
yeah.
though my 8.6 is
It's
turbocharged.
He's getting an NA motor.
And he
Yeah.
has a 34 that's turbo as well as his
Hey,
8.6.
my 8.6 still has a 4-age in it.
Hey,
though.
and I'm building a 7-age.
Exactly.
It's
So,
still gonna be faster than your
Look,
Yeah.
I'm practically building an MX-5 motor for my car. So, or 1.8. So,
Yeah, like I mean, it's delivered. I think 990 kilos or something
yeah,
like
so
that.
they're pretty a similar
It's-
platform, I guess.
Yeah.
Just one's driven by hairdressers and one's driven by rally car drivers in Sushia. So,
I've seen JTACC MX-5s.
okay,
Not
okay.
that-
All right. I don't see any yet. I've never seen an MX-5 in D1. Was there one originally back in the day?
Yeah, there's a 13B.
yeah.
I suppose there's MX-5 still in FD. So,
Yeah,
all
well,
right. I'll
Yeah,
give you
there
that
was
one.
in
I'll give you that one.
D1 SL for a while. I can't remember his name. Hey, Utah, I think.
Nah,
he
that
used
still
to have.
doesn't count, man.
It
Come on.
does count. But yeah, anyways.
Alright.
So it's it's not an S body or even like, to be honest, the E36 is probably, it drifts way easier. It's super good chassis. Like
Bit
It's got
longer,
really-
easier to drive. Kind of like a
Super easy.
Skyline,
Once-
NA
weld
Skyline.
the diff and get the cheap eBay coilovers, and you can hang out all day.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it-
And
it's-
speed
it's
on
really,
it.
really
That'll last. Yeah.
there's just so many of them in the UK now.
Yeah.
It's gotten a bit saturated, but at the same time, they're such a good car that but the MX-5 is definitely, it's not as competitive. Like, I'm not going to get on the doors with the JZXs and that, but
Yeah.
it's so much fun, so
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah,
When it
cool.
comes down to it, that's all it is, though. It's like
Yeah, that's
always
it.
about
Just as long
having
as
fun.
you're having fun, that's all that matters. Tell me,
Yeah.
we've had someone comment previously about in America how they have the missile crisis. Do you
Yeah.
think that is a problem in the UK? It's not a problem in Australia.
No,
Not
I mean,
much,
it was
not
Not much. But is it a problem in the UK?
it did get to that stage. Like I said, there's a lot of banger tracks in the UK, so they're just big. They're just the oval tracks, not American oval, a small, maybe a football pitch size oval
Okay.
with Onco barriers, and they usually do banger racing there, destruction derbies, and
And for
stuff.
people like, a banger track is also like a skid pan, basically.
Yeah, we got a little
Yeah,
skid with
yeah.
a bank corner.
Yeah,
I
but
know. I
usually
think I know the
got-
ones you're talking about.
they've got a dirt in a field.
Oh.
That they hold a lot of drift in there.
Okay.
I don't quite know how that got
Like a
started,
mini
but-
NASCAR track.
Yeah,
Yeah.
essentially.
Huh.
Mini NASCAR, but they generally wet the track, and it's like $50 to get in, and you can just smash your car along the Armco all day. And loads of people do that. I think it's more like, I don't know, that banger culture of just getting a wrecked car that's never going to be on the road again,
Yeah.
and just that culture is quite big in the UK. So that did sort of bleed into the mainstream drifting scene.
Yep.
So those guys were coming out of the banger tracks onto the other tracks with their E36s, didn't have a rear end anymore, no bumpers, all that stuff. And it's a Driftland, with Driftland as well. Like, I don't know if you guys have talked about Driftland on the show. It's a track
No.
in Scotland that was built by a guy called Jeek. So again, this was a banger track. They had a night called Jumanji Nights. It wasn't banger orientated at all. They've got a big culture in Scotland of import cars from Japan. Really, really tidy Supras, RX-7s, Skylines, Evos, Scoobies. Really big culture of that. Andy from Power Vehicles, that's how he got started, obviously.
Oh, I thought
So,
he was Irish.
No,
He's Scottish.
Andy's he's Scottish. Yeah. And so anyway, Jeek
I never knew.
built this track. They built this track out the back of the banger track, so it's sort of attached to the same site. And they were having these big drift days there. They did Drift Bash that Stewie Bryant went to one year.
Oh yes, I
Um,
remember that video. Yeah.
See that? Chelsea
Yeah.
Denofa 1 year, I think the same year. But that was them buying in 30 cheap BMWs again, just getting guys out on the track and doing ridiculous trains that you wouldn't do in normal cars. But that got so to the point that everyone was coming to Driftland on a normal day and expecting that to be the norm.
Yeah.
So then it got to the point 3 years after, I think, Jeek implemented the famous, the now infamous, your car has to look like a fucking car rule.
Nice.
I like that rule. That is a good
Yeah,
rule.
yeah, it was a big thing on Facebook. He posted
Ebisu's
it.
pretty much got the same now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that he was the initiator on that. I think literally 4 days later, Andy at Ebisu implemented the same rules. It almost copy and pasted what Jeek had written.
Yeah.
And that definitely had a big impact all across the country. Like, it was sort of like, now that it'd been said out in the public eye, everyone was like, yeah, it has gotten a bit stupid.
Okay. So basically, so the missile crisis did essentially happen, but you guys sorted it out. So
Yeah, before it became a
big issue.
I think so. It definitely had gotten to the point everyone saw it at the tracks, just people with cars that they didn't care about anymore, just getting
demolition derby, basically.
Yeah, and that's what they were expecting to be like. But and then you don't want to go out there in your 15 grand S15 and get
totaled by a ratty E36. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But there's loads of nice ether. I think everyone's pulled their socks up, and yeah, it's all the better for it. Definitely. I mean, style's always been such a big part of drifting.
Yeah,
it's like it's a stupid thing to do anyway. I mean, like, have fun however you want. So if you want to smash up your cars, then fine. But it's not something that the public is going to relate to at all.
Yeah.
Like,
that's it.
Especially like FIA and all that stuff.
Yeah, if guys want to move on, then it's not a good look.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, missile and practice cars are always going to be there, but
they still have to resemble a car.
Yeah.
You've got to have a nice car to also have a missile.
I've always said that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
if you
don't have a drift car and you have a practice car, you don't have a drift car.
If you've got a missile car but you don't actually have a nice car, you just have a car. You don't have a missile
real
car.
ratty car.
Yeah. So no, that's sweet. Did you want to tell us a little bit more about Driftland while we're on the topic anyway?
Yeah,
sure. So I think it must have been 5 years now they sort of broke ground there. As I say, they had this Jumanji Nights drifting on there. That was becoming pretty popular. And I think so they had an old go-kart track out the back, and they were looking to maybe, I don't know, do something with that. But in the end, it was just so awful that they just decided to start from square one. So they got together a load of ideas from Japanese tracks. They wanted a multi-layout sort of deal. So I'm not entirely sure how the financial side of it works, but they worked out a deal. The guy who owns the track is a really colourful character, but he's a really good guy. So I'm not quite sure how Jeek strong-armed him into building a drift track there, but So they built that. As I say, it's a multi-track drift. I mean, purpose-built drift track.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it when they said it was going to happen. It was, unbelievable.
Yeah. That's
So how big is the track?
It's not massive, so it's probably, I'd compare it to like Sportsland Yamagachi, is it?
Yamanashi.
Yes, Yamanashi. Yeah, so it's sort of that size. They don't have the infield is the pits is away. It's not in the infield, but maybe around that size. Maybe even smaller than that, actually.
I think it's probably the size of Archie, but like Archie and a half, because you got that big run up on the straight near that wall, hey, and then the rest of it down the bottom's a bit tighter.
Okay. Yeah, so there's it's multi-layout. They've got a big sweeping corner. All right, okay. I'm gonna draw I'll draw it for you.
Yes.
There's so many times.
While you're drawing it, what's like the tech rules for that?
So as I say, the tech rules. Jeek brought in the your car has to look like a car rule.
Yep.
So the rules are obviously bumpers, bonnet, you have to have lights. You have to have working brake lights. I'm not sure about headlights, but yeah. And so no leaking fluids. MX-5s and convertibles have to have a roll bar.
Yep.
And everyone has to have a fire extinguisher, powder extinguisher, and just wear a helmet. And long sleeves and long trousers.
So it's probably not such a bad thing in England, but it gets really hot here, and one of our local tracks also enforces that. And then you have like a 40-degree day, and you're just dying.
Yeah, Rally Raceway also does that. I don't know about Port Macquarie though.
Port Macquarie is pretty chill.
While we're on the subject, before I forget, Kingston Park Raceway is doing a drift event by the looks.
Yeah, they did a drift demo last night.
I think they're doing an actual drift day though coming up. So I'm going to check that, and if there it is, I'll put it on the Facebook page.
Yeah, sweet.
So how's your drawing coming along?
Yeah, sweet. All done. Picassoed out.
Nice.
You're going to have to hold that close to that camera. Away from the light.
There we go. Yeah, mint.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, so the main court is the one that like they do for, was it BDC Championship? Where they come in and like around the big bank one, yeah.
Do they do a reverse track and stuff too?
Actually, yeah.
Yeah. So you can do, when you have the track to yourself, like, so they do public drift days and they do private hires, which is what I've been to a few years now.
Okay.
So if you can do, if it's just you and 8 friends, 4 hours cost you £80 each.
Oh, so wow! With no minimum amount of people.
Yeah, I think it's 8 minimum.
Okay.
But I mean, you could do less, but then it would just cost you more each.
Yeah.
But I think
that's still good.
Yeah. 8 people for a 4 hour. You have a morning session and an afternoon, so it's like £80 each for the session. But yeah, you can rent the whole track out yourself and just have 2 of you there, or however you wanted. Choose your layout. It's self-marshaled.
Pits.
Yeah, you can run. Yeah, so the pits are off track, so you have a run-on lane.
Covered, or like if it rains? Because I know it rains a lot in the UK.
No.
Oh, that's silly.
Oh no!
It's gravel. It's the worst gravel. Everyone comments to Jeek on the Facebook pages about how horrible the pits are. It kills body kits.
Yeah. Okay, so it's the same as Archie.
I was about to say it sounds exactly like Archie.
Yeah.
But the track, it's just, I still can't quite believe that there's a drift track in the UK. It's amazing. It's so much. So like,
go on.
I was just gonna say, like, we have these banger tracks. We have these like coned off drift days that are,
Yeah, well, I was going to ask, like, how many other big tracks are there that you can go drifting at, like, because obviously you're really excited about Driftland, so it kind of makes it, like, we've got a purpose track for drifting, which is Archie.
Yeah.
We take that pretty for granted.
Yeah, we do.
Because we do have quite a few tracks that we can drift at, even just in our state. Let alone, admittedly, our state is bigger than the UK, but but still, like, how many tracks do you have available to?
I mean, there's probably, I'll say there's these banger tracks. There's probably there's one in almost every major town, or there was at one stage.
Oh, wow.
They are closing it, but there's probably, I counted a dozen yesterday that I could think of, and then they're like, as I say, they're not you're not going to take your really immaculately dressed.
But can you hire those out? Like, are they decent enough that if you did hire it out, you could take your nice car there, or?
Yeah, you can do that. You can hire them out, and again, real cheap, because they're just oval, so they'd all be self-marshaled.
Yeah.
But, there is all that, but then there are tracks. I mean, there's probably only, I could think of 3 or 4 real tracks that do actual drifting. There's Matsuri going on this weekend at a track in Anglesey, which is a proper. Yeah, I think they used to hold.
And is that
the MotoGP there?
Is that counting England and Scotland?
Yeah. I mean, so Scotland have Knock Hill. They have drifting on at Knock Hill.
Okay.
And that was an old that's a pretty heritage track, I'd call it.
I seem to remember that Driftland is quite close to the border between the two.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it takes me 8 hours to drive there, and three of them are in Scotland, I think, or two and a half are in Scotland.
Okay, yeah, right.
Yeah, it's a little way in. It's just the other side of Edinburgh. It's not too far. But there's another track, Crail, which is an old RAF base. They've set up a few tracks there. That's really far north. That's almost in the Highlands.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
But then there's tracks in two or three tracks in Wales.
That's right,
couple
in Wales too. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's a few dotted around, but a lot of the thing is that there is this big racing heritage in England, and they've got these tracks up and down the country that hold regular track days, but they hate drifting. As soon as 2 or 3 people have done a dirt drop, and obviously not on purpose, it happens. No one wants to scratch their exhaust on the edge of the track. So, 2 or 3 times happens, someone spins off and tears up their grass, no more drift days.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty standard everywhere.
Except for QR, they just don't care.
Yeah, they don't really have grass though. It's just pebbles.
Yeah, I see that. I see you dirt riding. That's right.
Yeah. Okay. So how close would Driftland be to the capital city of Scotland then?
I don't even know what the capital city is called.
Neither do we. Okay, good. Okay. I feel less sad about not knowing that now.
Bad right
yeah.
It's pretty central to like most of it is in Edinburgh, Glasgow, and Aberdeen.
Okay.
I mean, don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
But
look, you're 8 hours away from it, so I'll give you that.
It's far away from me. I mean, people go from Cornwall, which is literally the opposite end of the country, 10 hours they had to drive to get there.
Yeah, right.
Which would probably sound a lot for you guys, but for us, that's
10 hours is still pretty decent driving.
Yeah, it's still a decent drive.
Like, we would be driving that at 100 k's an hour to 110 k's an hour, though, like on a highway, but yeah.
Yeah, that's it. There's not many highways either, so it's 400 miles, I think it said on Saturday.
Oh, so that's miles. Wait, you guys don't work in miles?
Yeah, they do.
Do they?
660.
Do you guys work in miles?
Yeah. There's a bit of a weird.
Real dumb.
Yeah.
I thought that was only Americans.
No,
Because I thought the miles were imperial.
It is.
No, I can't picture kilometers, but talk to me in inches, and I've got no idea either. So.
What? This is blowing my mind. Where did we get kilometers and millimeters from then? Because I always thought that we got that from England. Like,
No.
I mean, like, we're still part of, like...
We're part of England, but...
Yeah, like, we're still... Whoa, that just blew my mind.
Yeah.
Because, like, Korea, they do in kilometers. So does Japan and stuff like that. Did we take it from Asia?
Maybe.
I guess so, yeah.
Possibly.
You probably got a lot more Asian-built cars.
Because I always thought that Americans... This is getting into a history lesson here, but I always thought that Americans just made it up when they had their war with England to separate from England and get their independence. I thought they just went, fuck it, I don't like kilometers anymore, I want to make it miles. But no, they got it from you guys.
Their rules out.
So you guys are the retards. Okay. But you guys don't drive on the left-hand side.
No, right-hand drive like we are.
They're right-hand drive?
Yeah.
Yeah, we drive on the left. Yeah.
That's why we can import cars from England and they can import cars from Australia.
Yeah,
Germany?
Yeah, we get a lot.
Germany's left-hand drive. That's why when I was in Germany, I learned to drive left-hand drive.
Yeah, so as soon as you cross the border,
England, Ireland, and Scotland are the only countries in like Europe that drive on right-hand drive. Hey, and then other than that, it's us, Japan, and New Zealand that are the main countries that drive.
Did the guys from Sweden drive right-hand drive? Because I swear that Ty didn't have to learn left-hand drive.
No,
in
he
that
had a
240.
There was a right-hand drive car over there that was imported or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, this has been the history podcast. There you go. Cool. Okay. Well, so you guys are wrong. It's kilometers, and that's why all like your old European cars, they have the dual on the.
Yeah, yeah.
Because Tanner's 240Z is in miles.
Well, yeah, Australia used to be in miles.
Japan must have too.
I don't know about Japan.
Or maybe they just did that to be cool. Like it was like a cool thing. We're going to be in miles.
They just fully adopted the metric system straight off
I
the bat.
don't know.
They're like, this works better.
I need to look up the history of the metric system now. Okay.
Episode for another day.
Continuing on to what we were talking about. After my mind has been blown tonight.
So yeah, anyways, let's talk a bit about grassroots drifting in general in England.
Yeah.
What's it like over there, you know, just general...
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of ways to get into it. There's a lot of, as I say, there's a lot of car culture in the UK. There's a lot of car cruising, all of that stuff. I mean, certainly, yeah, it's definitely out there. Everyone knows about drifting. Really, you can speak to most people, and they know what it is. But that's, yeah, as I say, there are the tracks to get started. But I mean,
because you have that big race track. What's the big one? I've seen that really fast videos.
Is it Santa Pod that's the big one, or is it?
Nah.
Yeah. So Santa Pod is they have that's a drag strip, and the pits. What do they call them? The paddock area.
Yeah.
They set out a big track, and then they have a few playpens, and that's really cheap to get into. But what I was going to say, that there's a lot more drift experience days, like red letter day sort of things you can do. I think the natural drift your own ride sort of things. For some reason, they seem to be able to have drifting on when no one else can. So, you know, like, there are a lot of inroads, like, yeah, you get a half-day drifting for, I don't know, 100 odd quid for your birthday or whatever, and you can go into an S14 or a Skyline or something like that.
Yeah, I think we have something similar.
Yeah, we have similar stuff like that. Yeah, it's almost like a drift school type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're actually really popular. I see them up and down.
Okay. The track that I'm thinking of is in BDC. What tracks do they compete in at BDC?
So they've got BDC, they've got Rockingham, which is Rockingham is a big sort of oval track with an infield track, and they also have, again, in the outer paddock, they have a coned off drift event. But that whole site is being sold this year. So that came in. So I think that was built about 10 years ago. They built it because they were trying to introduce NASCAR into the UK, and they called it ASCAR. So NASCAR,
and that's what motor Phil Morrison has in his A86 at Driftworks. He has an ASCAR chassis from memory with a with the A86 body put on top. It is a full ASCAR stuff. Oh right, so ASCAR was a British thing.
Yeah, so they were pushing for ASCAR. They built this Rockingham track in the hope that they would have, like, there's huge grandstands, 100,000 seat grandstands there. I don't know what they were thinking, but so they obviously got pretty deep in the hole building that.
More money makes sense on that one.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a silly move. But anyway, that's going this year. About 3-4 years ago, they started doing drifting there.
Yep.
And it was the saviour of the scene, to be honest. Like,
and can you do grassroots stuff there?
Yeah. So it's all they were all just pay to enter. The tickets were released on Facebook. I think as long as your car was up to the spec, like I say, MX-5 had a roll cage, no leaks, and you had a helmet, you could go.
Okay.
Some of the days were more towards like experienced drivers. To say that had an infield track which was used for British touring cars up until this year. So that was a proper track to drift on, with rumble strips and raised inner curbs, and it was sick. So much fun. And they also did a main replica there on the main oval.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen the video of that one.
Yeah, it was savage, and amazing that did it. Mark Sweeps It's the guy who organised it. He's one of the OGs in UK drifting. Been drifting 86s since day one, I think. Yeah, he's got a really nice banana yellow 86. But so yeah, he organised these days and pushed for the main layout on the big oval track. The first time they did it, they had it on the bank. So you're initiating. You imagine that the pit wall was 20 feet higher than the inner. it was pretty impossible. But then the second time they did it on a much better spot, and it was amazing. The videos from the wall is just crazy.
Yeah, it was cool that they let all the spectators like sit up near the wall to get all those videos too. Like that would just never happen here.
And that was. You're not thinking of the American version of Mayhem?
No. This is in England. This is how long ago was this? This was a while back, wasn't it?
I think I did one about. Well, they've been doing Mayhem layout for about a year and a half.
Okay.
I think they've done 6 days in total now. Yeah, so I did one as well, one of the earlier ones, and it was pretty intense. Like,
yeah, they definitely look like it.
The passenger window just all full of concrete and just little people heads flying over. Yeah, it was pretty hairy.
That's cool as because I remember Street Track Life putting out one of their videos from it. They had just this camera like mounted to the wall, and everyone was just pushing so hard. That was cool as. Like,
yeah, right.
Yeah,
and that's at the what was it, Rockingham? Yeah,
that's the Rockingham. Yeah, as I say, unfortunately, they've got one more main layout day this year and one more outer paddock day, which is they just he does a new course every time. He puts down the chalk lines. They'll put out some walls and some tyre runs.
Yeah,
make it interesting, but that's mainly for close tandems, mainly second gear all the way. And just sort of send out a train as long as you want.
Yeah,
that's pretty fun too.
Yeah, that sounds wicked.
So it's unfortunate that's going. I mean, I don't know why. Well, I say that they obviously need to make some money back, but I don't know. There's been talk on the grapevine of things happening with little bit of it, but I think the main thing it's going to be used for parking. I don't know if you guys are getting that, but big areas are getting taken over to just park new cars on. It's really fucking weird.
Yeah, it's happening everywhere.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen much of it, but I've seen it. Happening.
In Australia, we lost Oran Park to not for car parking, but actually for a housing development. So if you want to go race a racetrack, you can just go into nice people's housing
just
estate.
Go through the housing estate.
Yeah.
Pop second.
They literally just put houses around the track. Like, yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Who's gonna blame you? Like, but
that's it.
What's the other BDC track then?
So they got Three Sisters. They've done it at this year's the first year, which is a kart track in the Midlands.
Okay. Good layout. Again, is it a good?
Yeah.
Layout?
So they can do a multi layout there, I think. But the main they do one. It's sort of a. I think it's a left, Manji down a long straight, left into a big sweeping right.
Right.
And because it's a kart track, it is quite narrow, so they really get on doors there. But that they've been doing drift days there for about 2 years, and again that got sold. It was going to close, and then there was an investor that came along. I've got no idea who, but decided that it was something worth saving. They don't just do drifting; they do, go-karting, mini-moto, corporate events there.
Yep.
And then they also do drifting there almost every twice a month, maybe.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah, that's decent.
They have a novice day where you get sent out one after the other with a gap, obviously. And then they have a cage day, they call it. So you have to have door bars, but then you can run tandems and trains. I think because it's such a tight track, there's probably been a few T-bonings already.
Yeah, so it just comes down to insurance most of the time.
It kind of sucks that it does look really fun. I want to do it, but I've got to spend £1,000 getting my car ready to go drifting again.
Yeah,
that's not that much.
But it's in the long run. I mean, I suppose it's worth.
Yeah. Okay. I swear there was another fast track. Is Silverstone? Is it?
I don't. They don't do drifting at Silverstone.
They used to though.
Well, so I think
because that track's real fast. Like
yeah, they do that. Like you can obviously got the old Forza layout against the wall into the whatever it was.
Yeah, into the double S bend. Yeah.
That they still run that. They still do run that for some of the like car shows.
Yeah, I think they have demo days, right?
Yeah, exactly. And they have like 10 or 15 drivers get invited to do demos. Yeah.
Because I swear I've seen in a Driftworks video of them drifting.
Yeah, Driftworks. They did it way back when, and then was it when D1 GP went to England? They also held a crazy big drift event there because when Kumiko and all BDC. That came over.
I think they've been running BDC for 10 years now. I think, and like the Phil Morrisons, were there to begin with, and I think, anyway, they had it at Silverstone. They've had it on a few pretty big tracks in the UK, but again, I don't know. They just seem to turn their backs on drifting so easily.
That's it. And the costs, very like they can fill up grandstands on a normal day, compared to
imagine just turning the lights on at Silverstone must cost them 10 grand a day.
That's it. Like it's silly stuff like that, but it's what costs money, and places don't want to do stuff for free. So
exactly.
And all of us drifters are broke, so
that's the big thing, if you're rocking up, like you got to compare it to like a race car. These are teams that spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on their cars to get them ready for these race days. You compare that to you rocking up for a drift event with X5. It's nothing. It's not even comparable.
Man, like
so
it's just it sucks.
Well, I mean, like I say, you totally understand why they see it like that, but that's again why people like Jeek and Andy put in the rules for cars got a car. It's just like they're not going to want those people there with shitty old BMWs and stuff like that. Like, if you want drifting to be on the good tracks, and they can be, there have been places where they've been successful, but they're not going to want, like you say. But the other thing is, though, with the drifting, you're not going to get people showing up to spectate at some little,
like day, amateur practice day, like we have morning session. There's not going to be a grandstand filled.
No, exactly. The places just have to make money.
It's getting really popular with passengers.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think from a track's point of view, drifting could be a really big pull, but
it just was never ever marketed in the way that it should have been from the beginning. And that's the trouble. Like, it happened everywhere. It's even dying out in Japan as far as competition drifting goes. It's everywhere. I didn't look at the grandstands at Formula Drift over the weekend or the weekend before, but those grandstands would be the fullest of all grandstands worldwide for drift watching, for sure. I guess the only comparable one would be IDC. That would probably be the only comparable stuff. But
I mean, Formula Drift do have a crazy grandstands.
That's what I'm saying. And they got their live views too. So definitely. But so does IDC. They got their good live views and stuff for that.
BDC's definitely, like, since Brian Egan?
It's the same person that owns IDC that owns
BDC. So they've been running it for the last 3 years. So he took what he learned from IDC, doing the live streams, just doing a bit more PR and becoming a bit more, I don't know, a bit more for the everyman, not just for the hardcore drifters.
Yeah. Which is what you have to do to get it out there, basically.
It's good, like the free live stream and the just scrolling banners. I mean,
it didn't used to be free though for IDC.
I don't know.
You
used to have to pay. Do you still have to pay for IDC?
I don't think so. I think they scrapped that.
I hope they did. We've got a question on our YouTube chat, and it's something I did want to talk about as well, because you guys have two of the biggest drifting YouTubers in the world. Like, I'm not saying that they're the biggest, but they're two of the top 10s in the world, and that's Monkey London and Driftworks. Well, this person's asked, what's the general opinion of Monkey London in England drifting? Like, I don't want to bag out the dude, and I'm sure you don't want to either. I personally don't watch his videos, so I can't comment myself.
I watch his drift videos, but that's
you
about
do?
it.
I watched a few of them, and his car was really nice.
I like S15.
His S15 is amazing. I've seen him. I've been at drift days with him quite a few times now. Toby is a really nice guy.
Yeah,
he's such a lovely guy. Like,
that's good to hear.
As soon as he gets behind the wheel, it's like the red mist comes down, and the Monkey London show starts.
Yeah,
and he doesn't know when to back off. But it's good to watch. It is good to watch.
Yeah. How is his driving in person?
Oh, really good.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, throws it in backwards every time. He's throwing it in backwards. Right. Generally, the only reason he crashes is because the person in front of him doesn't realise how backwards he's going to go.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Yeah, something silly like that. Yeah.
Like as I say, that I don't know if you saw the big crash he had at Driftland recently.
Yeah,
I didn't.
Yeah. So that was really just. I mean, like the guy in front of him, Harry, in that it's an RA27 Celica.
Yeah.
SR20, complete tube front ends, built by Mark Huxley. Amazing car, and I mean Harry's just getting used to that car. He's got into that, which is like 0 Ackerman, 55-degree steering. Like it's a beast, and he was hanging it out really well all weekend. But then it's a bit different when you've got a screaming S15 chasing you as well.
Yeah, and that's like an XD1 SL car or something, isn't it?
It was built for D1 SL.
Got even more power.
So it's like a solid car. Like it's
It is solid car. Both solid cars, and it was just that Harry was. I know Harry even told him to back off a little bit, and obviously Monkey just.
I haven't watched anything of his recent stuff. Is he just a very aggressive driver? Is that it? Or
he's just he gets into it way too much and doesn't have a safe zone. You know, where you're driving with someone you don't know very well, and you're like, you know what, I want to drive with them, but I don't want to be in their personal space. I'll just leave them that room. Yeah, that goes out the window, and he'll be like, hey, it doesn't matter. There's this $500,000 tracker. I'm just gonna go sit on its door. Just full send the whole time.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
makes for good watching, but
it does make for good YouTube. YouTube's it's TV in it. You watch, it's just.
And so long as he's a decent person outside of whatever he is on YouTube, that's a big thing for me. If they're a decent person, that's a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah, me and Toby have chatted a few times, and he's a solid guy. Not a bad word to say to him about him as a person.
Yeah.
But his driving it's not 0 to 10, it's 0 or 10.
Yeah. More, everyone just sounds like it's not even 0, it's just 10.
Warm up, mate. 10.
Okay, and what about Driftworks then? Because that's a massive company for you to have in your country. They were a trendsetter. Their video to go to Japan. Outsiders video. That was a big deal back then. When that came out. I think it still is.
I remember that coming out when before I even got into drifting. When I bought a car, and that inspired me to actually go out and buy something.
I think after I watched that when I was, it would have to be 6 or 7 years ago.
Yeah, I was in Germany when it came out,
and I went, one day I've got to go to Japan and go drifting, and I do now, and I'm so glad. But I probably would have eventually done it, but I think that really opened my eyes a while ago to prep me for doing it in the future, and they got such a massive customer base. We have a distributor for Driftworks stuff here in Australia, and I'm sure that they do in America and other parts of Europe and stuff like that. It's a massive company.
I'm pretty sure they ship worldwide.
Yeah, and they do custom Nardis and stuff like that, and their products seem really good. So
they're a works distributor, so they can do custom works as well. Any size works they'll get beer.
Yeah. So do they have a very good reputation over there still? And even as people, if you've met them before?
Yeah, of course. I mean, obviously, I think they the thing that Driftworks got really popular when was their forum. That was mainly what people went.
Yeah, I still go on there a couple of times. Every so often when I'm
it was
searching
massive.
stuff.
Back in the day, it was huge.
Yeah, right.
But I suppose that's what really got them their big customer base to begin with, because everyone recognised the brand. And that Driftworks orange is like, yeah, it's pretty recognisable now. It's pretty much the colour.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I say, they've been popular. They've got in it. I think it was the thing was that they could get the things. You could just click and order things that you couldn't click and order anywhere else.
And they were set up at the right timing as well. I think their business timing was really spot on, and their YouTube timing was spot on. I think they're just very smart business-wise.
Exactly.
To do it all.
I think that's it. I think Bill was just a really smart businessman. Clearly, he's like Lambo'd up.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Clearly, he's a good businessman.
Yeah.
But I mean, they just provided something that really at the time no one else was providing, like those parts from Japan, off-the-shelf brand new parts.
Yeah.
You just couldn't really get anywhere else except for like the rally and race prep services.
Well, I mean, they were doing Knuckles before Knuckles were a thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like cutting shots. Yeah, the Geo Masters were before, especially at least in Australia. Like, we didn't really do cut-and shots up until I would say like 4 or 5 years ago, before they really became a thing. Yeah. And it was either you ran standard Knuckles and lock spaces, or you spent the money and went Geo Masters. Like, yeah. All right, interesting. Is there any other big drift-related companies
in Street Track Life? Street Track Life in the UK, it's run by Alistair Graham.
Okay.
He's like a 326 distributor, so they got 326K. So he brings in all the dampers. I've seen some of the Yaba King 18-inch Johnnies on some drift car at a drift event last week. It was pretty incredible.
326 Japan.
Yeah, 326 Powers Haraguchi, the guy with the crazy FC from D1 back in the day.
Because there's a really similar brand over in America, I'm pretty sure. Who's doing all the suspension setup for Matt Field's car?
That'd be
Part Shop Max. That's it. Yeah, I always get the two confused. Yep. I think because they used to be the American distributor for 326 from memory, something like that. I don't know. I just could be getting confused. But anyway, okay. So they're the distributor for them.
So Ali's been big in the drift scene, sort of photographing, like blogging and stuff like that. And I think he went to Japan, got chatty with Haraguchi, as you do.
Yeah.
So he's distributing 326
for a while now, for a few years.
Yeah, for a couple of years now. Yeah. Bringing in body kits and stuff like that as well. He's been putting on this private hire event at Driftland the last couple of 3 years now. So that's a really, really popular grassroots event. So he's got Street Track Life is what it's called.
Okay.
There's some good solid guys.
Is there any other companies you can think of?
There's a few guys making body kits. HM Sports body kits. I don't know if you've seen them. There's an E46 body kit they've just released that's been doing the rounds. It's pretty savage.
Okay.
I think he's got it on VSKFs, like 10, 12.
I'll read immediately.
Yeah, it's black. It's got it's been doing the rounds, been shared around Facebook the last week.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen it.
Cool. Yeah, they did the A36 body kits that everyone pretty much has been running in America, and Europe and UK. And I think there's a few people doing them, but
okay.
What's
our next one?
Oh, let's jump back into the grassroots side of things. How much is like the general cost of drifting in the UK? So from like, let's say tires, fuel, track entry, we've talked about a bit, but
tires are pretty cheap. Tires aren't really an issue. You got loads and loads of part worn places. I don't know what they're like for part worns in Australia.
Well, tell us how much tires are for your MX5, let's say. There'd be like a 195 50 15 on that.
I'm 14-inch. I'm
Okay.
running
Yeah,
one,
boy.
Yeah.
195 45 14
Okay.
Toyo T1Rs,
Okay.
and they are 30
Okay.
no 45 quid, I think.
So that'd be like $80.
Yeah,
That's
something
pretty
like
good
that.
for
So
that's
a Toyo.
ridiculously
Yeah.
good for a Toyo.
Yeah.
the Toyo T1R, yeah.
Yeah,
And they're
yeah.
really good. They're
Yeah.
probably too grippy, but I can't seem to find many 14s in this country. That's the one thing.
Because that's a
the tyres-
wide 14
I was
too.
gonna
A
say,
195 is a
yeah.
really wide 14.
Because like usually, the most common size in a lower profile 14
175,
is either
185.
185 55 or a 165 60 is
or a 175 60.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
not as common though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I've got
14s are hard.
I'm running banded steel, so I've got 9.5 all round. I think 14 by 9.5.
Oh wow, that's a wide 14. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so I've
The
got
steel though,
two-
you said.
Yeah, that's the only way. I would love to have something else.
Yeah. No,
It's nice.
it comes
I
down to
want my-
cost, man. Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah,
Um,
like now with the other, like those companies like Kruber and Big JDM, they've certainly I've been keeping my eye out. I've still a few SSRs that I was looking forward to, but 4x100 is a hard PCD to find.
Yeah.
114.3 on a
Yeah.
on a MX5.
No,
No,
I thought they were.
4x100, man. Yep,
Yeah.
they make life very difficult.
That's like Civic. That's like Civic stud pattern.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you get stuck with all the front wheel drive
Yeah,
offset
but
wheels.
sometimes you can find Equipo ones and stuff for Civic and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
there is that's what I found. SSR Mark IIs, but they were gone by the time I
Yeah, my
Because
friend,
if someone for a Civic would probably buy them.
yeah, my friend managed to like get a set of Mark IIs. They look really, really good on his car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so what's fuel costs like?
Sorry.
Yeah.
This
Few-
is-
fuel costs. So we again weirdly we pay by the litre.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's
but,
pretty-
but why? If they're in miles and
I know. So I'm like trying to convert to miles per gallon from litres.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay, so go miles per no wait.
No,
Yeah,
let's just go. How much a liter is fuel?
Let's
Let's
just confuse everyone. Alright. How much is a litre?
So it's £1.30. So what's that, like $1.80? Maybe $2
about
per litre.
$2 a litre. Well, that's
Yeah.
high, man. Is that
Yeah.
98
Yeah.
or what's your octane?
So
Or
about
your highest
one,
octane one.
It's about the same price. You can easily get 97 and 99. That's about it.
Okay, so yeah, it probably works
Yeah.
out to be the same.
About the
They're about the
same.
same price.
So, do you have an E85?
No, we don't have anything like
Oh,
that.
really? Interesting.
Fuel's pretty expensive in this country.
Yeah.
Tires, like I say, tires are cheap. Part warns you pick up for like $15, like for really crap worn tires. But new tires, I think everyone's going more towards new tires.
And how much, do you know off the top of your head how much 18s and stuff are or 17s would be?
So about £50, so
Yeah.
like $80.
Yeah.
Yeah,
80 to 100.
Between 80 and 100, yeah.
yeah,
That's
for the
That's
graphic,
pretty
not for
standard.
the- yeah,
Yeah.
just for
Okay.
like federals.
And how easy are parts to find? Because in Australia, you go back 2 years, parts for an S13 really easy to find everywhere. How about nowadays over in the UK? Is it easy to
Yeah,
find
so
parts?
it's not too bad. I think, as I say, the used car market is pretty good in the UK. People generally hold on to their piece of shit cars for a long time.
Do
so
they
there's
part
always-
them out? Like, is there companies
Yeah,
that are
there's a lot of
parting
parts.
these and stuff like that?
Yeah, there's a lot more people parting their cars than anything else. I think nowadays.
Yeah, there's more money in it these days. That's why
Yeah,
people do
exactly.
it.
Like, yeah. So people break in like RBS 13s, so you pick up the motor mounts and stuff like that as well. So yeah, it's pretty good for that.
How much are S13s over there?
So you can pick up probably like a bog standard UK delivered S13 for $2.5-3 grand.
Okay.
So
What did they come with over there? Don't say KA.
CA.
Yeah, they came out with CA. Did you get SR in the later model ones?
No, I don't think there was any UK S13s with an SR.
What about
There's-
S14s? Did you get them?
Yeah, a lot of S14s, all SR.
How much are they going for?
Kuki and Zenki. So probably 4,000 for a UK
That's pretty good.
S14A.
Yeah, so that'd be like $6,000, $6.5 grand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like once you start getting into drift spec ones, like 6 or 7 for a decent one.
And did you get Skylines? Did you get S15s?
Yeah, R bodies. I don't think there was any UK S15s, but as I say, there's been a big culture for importing cars in the UK for quite a long time. As I say, that's how Andy got started.
Yeah.
I bought a car from an importer next to my work. Like, there's a lot of businesses doing that in the UK. So you see a lot of MX-5s from Japan, a lot of Skylines, Supras, a lot of S15s got delivered, Stagias, lots of family wagons as well.
I was about to say, do you have like a massive used car market for those El Grand van things?
El Grande, Mazda Bongos.
Oh, yes, Mazda Bongos.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to as a camper van.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, there's a lot.
That's
There's a lot of that. I've always seen S15s on the road, Spec R, S15s, and stuff like that.
So, what about grassroots competition drifting? Is there much of that?
Yeah, so you've got Drift Cup, which is like the official feeder into into BDC.
Okay.
So they're like anyone can just buy a ticket as long as your car is up to spec. So I think you have to have like door bar, roll cage, that sort of thing, and then you just buy a ticket to these drift events, similar to what D1 used to be, I guess, where you just as many people entered as wanted to, and then they go down to top 32. Whatever it is, top drivers get a place on the Pro-Am next year. But then you also have there's a retro drift series, so that's for just cars pre-91, like S13s. Just about got let in, and then it's a lot of old BMWs. Yeah, it's a pretty cool one as well. That's about it really. As I say, there's those are the main three. I think there's a drift. What do they call it? Drift service. Oh, I can't remember, but it's like the armed services, the RAF.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you were saying that earlier.
Drift services, something or other. I can't remember, but.
Okay.
No, that's cool. At least you have like a few different ones.
Yeah.
Like, we don't really have anything here that will allow you to get into anything professional.
Yeah.
Other than maybe the Drift Masters competition. So.
Yeah. There's a way. I mean, like from now that you can buy a ticket to Drift Cup, qualify to BDC, and then obviously if you made your way all the way to top of BDC Pro, you can now get a Formula Drift license as well. Yeah. So there's I suppose it is quite healthy for that feeder.
No, that's it. Hell yeah.
What's the next one?
So, anyway, let's go. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about grassroots drift events? Anything you can think of?
Well, how many Matsuris do you have?
So, we have a Spring Matsuri, what they're officially the Matsuri, Spring Matsuri and the Autumn Matsuri.
Are they like a lineup and go like one or two at a time or whatever, or is it a continuous layout?
So they're normally multi-track. So I went to the spring one, which was at Rockingham. So we had the infield track was running. They had 2 tracks on the oval, 3 tracks on the oval, I think. So they just let people out as you want to go. Really, it's pretty free for all. But it's not continuous laps. So it'll just be everyone feeds up to the start line.
Yeah.
The marshal let as many people go as they want to go.
Okay.
Or whoever asked to go.
I guess similar to ours then, hey.
Yeah. Do you have like a certain line, like a solo line and a tandem line? Or?
Not generally, no. Okay. You just tell the marshal at the beginning. If you want to run solo, you just tell him you want to run solo.
Okay.
But generally, you just stick your fingers up like 4, 5, 6 guys, or just however many. Everyone's going.
Yeah.
The marshals are great as well, because by the end of it, they're just waving everyone through, like, come on, keep going, go. It's pretty intense.
Hell yeah, that's
the Autumn Matsuri is happening this weekend. It's at Anglesey Circuit in Wales, so that's much more of a professional circuit, I would say. So they've got 3 layouts. They've got like a toge track, they're calling it. like a GP, a really fast entry circuit.
Is the Togo track like an actual, like, does it have hills or anything, or is it flat?
It has elevation changes.
Okay.
I think it's like 2 or 3 consecutive hairpins.
Okay.
And then a couple of sweepers.
Initial
But again,
D-star.
generally-
Initial D stars.
Yeah. 5 consecutive hairpins.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, fair enough. Well, at least you got some.
Yeah.
It definitely sounds like for such a small area, you have quite a lot of options, whether you're starting at the beginning or even if you want to go to full-on competition. You know, like you can literally work your way up from these banger events that you're talking about all the way up to BDC. You know, like we don't have that. I think the only other country that really has that is America. And Japan, I guess. Yeah.
It's the English condition though to sort of. I only really like just speaking to you about it now. I've realised actually, that is actually quite good.
Yeah.
Like, it's the English, you think, you always think the worst.
You take a lot of stuff for granted. We even do. Like I'm literally 5 minutes from Archerfield Raceway from my house. Like I've never drifted there. Like
you missed out.
Yeah,
Shouldn't have
sold my car before I got to drive there. And you know, you take a lot of stuff for granted. Yeah. Okay, what's next?
So let's go on to more like street stuff. So
yeah, this is what we're really getting
this,
here about.
This is
you
what,
better
this
have
is
some
what
damn
I
good
want
answers.
to know about.
Yeah.
So like in Australia, we have a lot of strict rules regarding like car modification, and a lot of us that do modify our cars kind of just risk it because we get a few strikes on stuff before we get into like big trouble over it. Unless you get the world's worst cop, like I did.
Well, maybe if you were the world's human. World's worst human.
Thanks, man. But yeah, how's it go driving like modified cars, like set up for drifting on the street? Go like regards to maybe getting pulled over and stuff.
No, I think to be like generally it's all right. Modified cars generally, unless there are things that are no-nos, like. That you'll definitely get pulled on. Like, I think, like things like underlights, like having stupid LEDs on the outside of your car. If your wheels are sticking out too far, they'll. Like,
how far's too far?
Yeah, how far's too far?
Generally, if they can see any treads, that's too far.
Even at the base.
Got to be tucked. You got.
Do you mean like really. Mud flap, or do you mean just at the top of the guard?
No, just the top of the guard. As long as it's not.
They'll try ping in Australia if it's hanging out. Like, you don't have like a mud flap.
If you have the edge of your lip outside of the guard at any point of the wheel, they can defect you for wheel poke here. That's how strict the cops are.
Yeah, pretty similar, really. But again, it depends on who pulls you over. I mean, these rules like
too low. It's not. Do you have that?
You're not. Yeah, no, too low is fine. You know, as long as there's no too low. There's always
I think we're going to go back up and move to England because I can import my 34 and take the 86.
Like, even Japan has a too low rule.
Yeah, but the cops don't really care about it. Because
they're just going to be like, please stop being a nuisance in public.
please raise your car and drive normally. Yeah, true.
I think the only thing limiting you is the quality of the roads. Speed, they love a speed bump in England. Like,
yeah, they love me too.
They love speed. They're called sleeping policemen in this country for some reason.
Actually, they're called silent coppers in Australia. You know the little steel pieces that are in the middle of like a T intersection? Yeah. It's called a silent copper. Really? That's what they're called. Yeah, that's their actual name. And I didn't know that came from England. All right, there you go.
Yeah, so they've got them absolutely everywhere.
True. What's your rules regarding like roll cages and stuff?
On the street.
On the street.
So, obviously we've got like... a lot of rally in the country as well. So obviously WRC cars are all road registered. So they have to, if they can pass a WRC car to be road registered in the UK, you can do it. So I think the rule is that it has to be fit for a purpose. So if you've got a drift car and you've stripped it out, or you've sort of semi-stripped it, you've got rid of the door cards, then they're just going to see it as you're a knobhead who just, I don't know, you're just doing things for the sake of it. But if you can prove to them or show that it's for a purpose, if you're driving a car that clearly is also for the track, then you're fine, really. As long as you're not breaking rules on like they are getting pretty strict on stretch tires. But that's more because the coppers on the street don't really understand the rule. It's like the side of the bead has to be touching the rim. So really, any stretch tyre, the side of the bead is going to be touching. The side of the bead is going to be touching the rim. But
yeah,
you can have doing it wrong if it does.
Yeah,
pretty much the bead will be touching.
Yeah,
that's technically the rule. But they can interpret that as they want. They can just write you a ticket, and then you have to prove that what they're saying is wrong. So,
but your 195s on a 9.5, that'd be pretty stretched. Still,
fun. Yeah, my car is on the road.
195 on a 9.5 is pretty. That's a lot of stretch. Like,
yeah. I trade cars though to events. I don't drive that on the street anymore.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to hit one of the speed bump things or the silent coppers, with that much stretch. Like, it's gonna pop bead. Like,
I mean, I've ridden some rumble strips in them.
Yeah, see, totally fine.
I guess. I don't know.
Safety tested. This has been proven.
But really, they're pretty easy going on street cars. As I say, as long as you don't break the sort of golden rules. Defective tyres, I think, is the worst. That's the thing they'll really get you on. I got caught. I didn't even realise. I didn't have a seatbelt on. They pulled me over and looked at my rear tyres, and they were just beads. It was bad. So I got in trouble for that. Generally, what they do is defect your vehicle. So you can't move the vehicle. You have to make any changes to it. Go have it re-MOT'd. And then you're okay to drive.
Yeah.
So it's not too bad. The worst thing is getting caught drifting. You'll get Section 59, and then you have your license taken away for 12 months or something like that. But I don't know if you have it in Australia. They have a lot of ANPR cameras, automated number plate readers.
We have them on the highway, and it's more for traffic monitoring and like point-to-point speed cameras because. Yeah. Everyone just slows down for the fixed point one, and then they just go back to doing 120. But so they have 2 point-to-point ones.
What they do more for these is really they're just like little spies. Like they know a street spot. They see your license plate driving into the spot, and then next thing you know, you get a letter home. They don't even need to catch you drifting.
They just see you driving into the spot where people go streeting.
Yeah, and then you'll get a letter. You get a letter sent to your address without having ever seen a copper, just saying if you're ever caught there again, you're going to get the full letter of the law, essentially.
Far out. Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, they're really.
Have you known anyone that's actually been charged or something by that?
Yeah.
For just being there. Not even catching them drifting. Or do they have video evidence or photographic evidence of them drifting or something?
Photographic evidence. All they have to have is a suspicion that you might be doing it, and in their eye, that's enough. To at least get the ball rolling.
That's hectic.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Streeto wouldn't really be a thing.
It definitely is a street. It definitely is a thing.
Oh,
Don't get me wrong. Yeah, it definitely is a thing.
Is it popular?
You have to. You've got to be really on point. You hit and run. Generally, is what it's more about. Just go into these.
Is
it industrial estates or is it?
Yeah, industrial estates. We get a lot of roundabouts, so it's mainly roundabout drifting.
Yeah,
But you find a good series of good. Like there was one really popular spot. My friend, this is where my friend. So he's a double amputee. He's got one arm and one leg, and he's got a chase. So he goes down there with his kids. I think he may be. No, but anyway, he's just hanging out there, and the police turn up. Everyone leaves, and then he gets a letter sent home saying if he's ever caught there again, he'll get Section 59.
Didn't tell me he has one arm, one leg, and then he couldn't have been drifting.
This is just one really popular spot. So if you as I say, there's
surely
tons of roundabouts.
you could take it to court though and be like, prove it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
This is all just letters sent home.
So they're not actually getting charged. It's if you get that letter, then it's a strike on your name or something, is it?
Essentially, yeah. You can get a black flag on your license plate. Every police car has this ANPR on their car.
So do ours.
Yeah, all of ours now do it.
If they see you on the street and you're in the same car, they'll pull you just to hassle you.
man.
Just to make sure, like, yeah, if everything's in order and you haven't got stretched tires, you're fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's hectic. Do you have any sort of like mountain back road sections? Like, I'm not saying like mountain, but like
there is.
back road.
There is a bit. There is a bit. To be honest, though, there's not. Even the places you think are quiet, there's always some farmer out there. Like,
Yep.
Because England's pretty small, Like it'd be hard to find areas that aren't populated at all to go do that.
There's a few gorge runs though, like Cheddar Gorge. Obviously, is quite a famous place.
Okay.
I guess but that used to get run a lot. But again, police are on that and shut down pretty quick. But no, there are.
And I'm sure that there is people out there that know the spots where they can get away with it.
Of course. And I think it's everyone's. There was a case about 6 years ago with someone's friend posted a clip of them doing drifting in an S14. I don't know if you remember. You may have seen it. But his friend posted the video, and then the guy got taken to court by the police. And
was it a green S14? And it was in
yeah.
Yes, I saw this on Facebook. I was in Germany when this happened. I thought it was absolutely ridiculous, but
Yeah.
So what happened?
That guy got fucked.
Yeah, he got posted online, and did he have his number plates in the video, or what happened?
I think so.
That sounds like some ACA type shit.
It was.
Yeah, sick. Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty stupid, but it happens, and I mean that probably so you don't generally get big crowds and filming. It's like I say, hit and run.
Yeah.
A few guys just go out on a cruise or a spirited drive.
Spirited
hit
drive.
Ben was spirited driving last night.
What?
I mean, like I say though, it depends who pulls you as well. I've heard stories of people drifting past policemen, and when they just like bullshit, saying, "Oh, the clutch slipped," or "Oh,
been there."
Yeah.
I was I was diagnosing my engine.
Had this weird misfire right up the top of the rev range, man.
Look, it actually was misfiring, and the copper could hear it, and he let me off with just a noise type offense. So we get defected if our cars are too loud. That's how bad it is here.
I know. Yeah, honestly, I will feel sorry for you guys.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
I mean, it sounds like places in America. California sounds worse.
Yeah.
No, we were talking
to Alex.
Last week in 2 weeks ago on our last episode in Cali, and man, they got it way easier than us.
Yeah, it's like
they just bring cars from other states, and they're sweet.
Oh yeah, of course.
So Florida, it's just Florida, you don't register a car in Cali, and you're sweet.
Yeah, I think Hertz Pizza. Pizza RX-7 is registered in Florida still, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's how they get away with that. Yeah.
So good.
What else stuff have we got to wrap this up? I think we're near the end, aren't we?
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about your drift team / group that you have going on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, just a few of us just decided to do something together. I mean, we were just driving a lot together. Me and my other guy Tom wanted to paint our cars as well. So one of our friends, Yaz, has got a UK S14 in AG2, original S13 AG2.
Yeah.
So we just decided to go for it and do something together. Just I don't know, try and live the dream.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, just have a bit of fun, like. Yeah. Just all it. Just more fun. I made some stickers. Just do some fun.
We'll have to do some sticker swaps after this. This will be cool.
Oh, for sure, mate. We'll have to swap addresses. I'll send you some.
We've really got to make some Drift Podcast stickers, actually.
Yeah, we've got to make up some. It'll be good.
Yeah. Special edition. I appeared on the Drift Podcast.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. We should make like a special edition.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, that's a nice idea. I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
So, as a general whole, what do you think of? Yeah, what's your general thoughts of drifting in the UK? Is like a bit of everything, I guess.
Especially after we've just opened your mind up to that it's not actually that bad.
I'm gonna have to rethink my whole ethos. No, I mean, like, it's good. As I say, UK's got a big just race heritage. Everyone loves cars here.
Yeah.
Everyone loves cars in the UK, I think. So it's only natural that drifting is the most fun you can have in a car.
Yeah.
You can't.
Next to rally. But
Rally's
you gotta have the
terrifying.
big kahunas to do the rally.
Rally is definitely got to be up there.
Yeah.
But I think drifting is like the fun you get out of rallying without.
It's accessible as well. It's rallying without the cost.
Accessible.
You know.
Yeah.
So,
It's. I mean, and everyone's just out here having fun. Really, like there's the people that want to take it seriously, but 99% of the people are just out there to have fun.
Yeah.
And that's definitely come across on the drift days. Like, there's no aggro. Generally, everyone's really good with, like, even silly things like cleaning up after themselves.
Yeah.
Like, everyone respects, and I think as well, because the tracks are sort of starting to become a bit thin on the ground, everyone's realised it's ours to look after, you know?
Yeah, that's it. You gotta take some responsibility to keep what you got, you know?
Yeah, and a few of my friends have been talking about doing something like, the Villains Sportslands in America.
Yeah.
Trying to get everyone together and do a sort of community funded, crowd funded sort of.
You can even just do like a permanent Mayhan style track or something like that would be really cool.
Something similar. It doesn't have to be complicated or big. Just something that something that we can all get together and push for, and make sure that it's ours to keep. I mean, we've got Driftland, but it is relatively quite far away for most of us.
Yeah.
But no, I think generally everyone's just down to have fun, man. Like,
cool.
Getting on boards, running big trains.
Yeah.
That's the best. Like, and all the talk on Facebook of waiting for the photos to draw.
Yeah.
Everyone's just out to have fun, I think.
Yeah.
Like the competitive drifting. That's one thing I would say. I think getting into competitive drifting, certainly becoming a pro driver where all you do is drift.
Yeah.
It's quite hard in this country. The marketplace is much smaller than somewhere in America.
Yeah.
It is hard to become a pro driver. So I think not a lot of people really aspire to do that. There's a couple of young drivers, but not like the Connor Shanahans and these little 14-year-old Estonian kids that are like, trying to become pro drivers. But everyone's just down to have fun, man. I don't know what else to say. Like,
that's good.
That's the best way.
It's definitely more of a throw it down, grassroots style of drifting.
Cool. I do have one more question. If that was all.
That was all I have.
If you wanted to go drifting in another country in Europe, is it just? I've always heard rumors that you can just drive to practically any other country in Europe. You can.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I don't know if you've heard about this little thing called Brexit that might be happening.
Well, my mum is British, so moment, technically I could get my British passport. But I've always just wondered if you could just drive to other countries.
Yeah, literally, like you can just hire a trailer as long as you're going to need it for. Most car insurance will cover you traveling in Europe. You don't need to get an international driver license or anything like that. So I think those European tracks are definitely going to be opened up more. But I know this year we have people going to France and Poland. Obviously, the Low Origin boys and Hoonigan, they had their little moment in the sun. I think definitely that's definitely opened people's
out of curiosity, how long would it take you to drive to France?
I think for me, it would. I'm like an hour and a half from Dover, and then an hour and a half on the train, and I'm in France. So 3 hours, and I'm on the continent. Or you can get
driving.
Ferry to
Holland.
Holland.
On the train that goes there.
The train takes your car.
Yeah,
bro.
Oh.
But you've been living under a fucking rock, bro.
Oh, that's cool.
You like?
Is it expensive?
Big carriages where the door opens up on the side, and then you drive in. You're all stacked up behind one another on a train.
Does it cost a lot, or?
I think it's about, from memory, about £60 each way, so about $80-90 maybe each way. To get, to go on.
Stop any thoughts of complaining about drifting in Europe.
Like,
man. You know how much it
It's
cost
pretty
me
crazy,
to fly to Japan to go drifting over there? It cost me more in tolls to drive from Tokyo to Fukushima. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
It would cost us
Yeah,
more in
it's
fuel to drive from here to Raleigh Raceway to go drifting.
Yeah,
like,
get your
than to take your car to France.
Yeah, that is a yeah. I think definitely those boys have they paved the way. I think, and
Man,
it's gonna definitely be more.
I never want to hear you complaining about drifting in your country ever again. Like, seriously, you got it so good. God damn,
that's sick.
It's the English condition, man. We just love to moan.
Yeah, look, it does rain a lot over there, so you do have something to complain about. All right, well, unless you can think of anything else that you wanted to say, we might as well wrap her up.
It's been good, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man. It's
Actually,
been super interesting. I think my mind's been blown about 4 or 5 times. So, no, it's been good. Thanks heaps for coming on, man. And we'll definitely chat again soon. Hey.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys.
All right,
have a good one,
dude.
Catch ya, and you can follow you on tell us your Instagrams and everything.
Doki Dory Star.
Yeah,
it's like how you'd imagine it to.
Yep, and that's on Instagram. Is it the same on YouTube?
Yeah, I think it is the same on YouTube. Yeah, we're gonna have some more videos dropping soon.
Yep,
Yeah,
sweet, awesome, dude. Well, thanks heaps for that. And
thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, we'll talk to you again soon.
Peace out, bro.
Yeah, see you later. Bye.
Hells yeah.
Cool.
No, that was sick.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Since starting this podcast, I've been wanting now to go drive
every other country in the world. Like,
like, America sounds awesome. England sounds awesome.
Yeah, totally.
Man, that was rad.
Yeah. Awesome.
I want to go drive Rockingham now.
Yeah, I want to drive Silverstone. Have you seen how fast that place is? Like, oh, yeah, that's the dream. All right, let's wrap up this quickly. News.
Daigo Saito built a new D1 GP car.
Yep.
It's a BMW.
What?
Supposed to be M4, but it looks nothing like an M4 because it's just bonnets up here, guards are out here, wheels are somewhere over there. It's nuts. I have no idea.
Not seen Daigo built a normal fucking car in like 8 years.
I think he just has too much money.
He's just building Ferraris, building Lambos, building BMWs, building that Lexus.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, what absolutely unimaginable
what car come up with? He was building that Corvette that he just wrote off, like that full carbon Corvette. Yeah. Like, basically very similar to Matt Fields. Just wrote it off. Oh, well, gone.
Build another one.
No, it's just I'll just build something else. It's easier. Like, okay, whatever.
So that's like mental. Like, I'm not a big, huge, crazy car person like that, but like
I'll have to check it out now.
It's insane. Like work wise, it's rad.
Yeah. Irwindale just finished up Formula D. James Dean won, of course. I don't know who came second. Don't know who came third. Didn't watch a minute of it.
Welcome to working full time.
The only reason I know that James Dean won, I think someone put it on Instagram.
Well, one of our previous guests actually put it on his Facebook, so that's how I knew.
Fair enough. DCA Tasmania. That went down, that Matsuri thing.
Yeah.
It was a Matsuri, so
I
watched 5 minutes of it. It looked pretty cool. Like, I didn't have much time. I'm being super busy. I'm going to EBSU in like less than 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
Prepping hard. But it looked pretty cool. Interesting, Tasmania.
Yeah, that'd be
that
interesting.
I've never actually.
Well, is it part of Australia? Or?
Yeah, I don't know. Isn't it New Zealand? I don't know.
That's what I thought it was, but hey, apparently.
Anyway,
but yeah, it'd be cool. Like,
they can fit a racetrack on there. I mean, it's pretty small.
Does it go around like the?
I'm pretty sure that Tasmania is the size of London, but they got a racetrack in there, and it looked pretty good. It actually had elevation.
Okay, that's something we don't usually get here.
They got something off on us.
Oh, okay, maybe it does belong to Australia. Well, we'll see.
What else? Anything?
Archie is happening on the 4th of November. So
you're only saying that because you're driving.
Yes, come say hi.
Yeah,
it'd be cool.
And if you're coming to EBSU, come say hi to me. My car is R32 two-door white with purple flames on the bonnet. Can't miss it.
Yeah,
and I'm sure you've seen it in the background of us as well. And I'll be there. I think I'll be there from like the 9th to maybe like the 17th, something like that. Yeah, it should be fun though.
I had something else, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know any other news. That's
Oh well,
that's about it.
it's a next time problem.
All right. Well,
Yeah, thanks
I
for
think
listening.
I'm gonna sign out. Thankfully, I don't think we even had any technical difficulties this time.
That's
It's surprising. I'm sure there's going to be one.
knock on
So
wood.
yeah. And
Sweet.
all right, guys. We'll catch you next time.
Thanks.